Okay, well, I hope that this last 15 minutes I can finish up because this whole process takes an extremely long amount of time. All right, where was I? Okay, so we were trying to do 1 times 23 get you 23. We had a cell that, or a formula that worked perfectly. D12 times E12. We typed it in, cell reference was perfect. Then we wanted 2 times 23, which is 46 and not 0. 3 times 23, which is not 0, and 4 times 23, which is not 0. Well, that's because if I look at 0, it's 2 times, or in this case, D13, which is 2, and DE13, which is technically 0 because there's nothing there. That's why it says it's 0, because it thinks you want 2 times 0, this cell times that cell, and that's not what it is. So that was what was called absolute reference. And when I got cut off, I was about to say, if you want to reference a cell, but you never, ever, ever want to go off of that cell. So no matter what computation you're doing, you could go all the way down here. You could do your little right arrow, bottom right arrow thing, scrolling down all day long, but you never want E12 to move. You never want to move off this cell. If you don't want E12 to move, because when I go down, it used E13. I didn't want that. E14, I didn't want that. E15, I didn't want that. So if I don't want E12 to move, this is what I call the $ thing. You're going to take E12, go up to the formula bar in that formula, and you're going to put a $ before the E and before the 12. That will, D12 will keep moving in this formula, but E12 will stay locked. Now remember, you have to hit enter for a formula to stick. Enter, 23. Which we knew. But you're going, wait a minute, it didn't change this. I must have done it wrong. Whenever you change a formula, usually you have to redrag, meaning you type that in there, you have your $, but you have to go to that bottom right, hold it, and drag it down for it to fix itself, basically. And now you see that it worked. 2 times 23 is 46. 3 times 23 is 69. 4 times 23 is 92. And you'll see that it used D12 and then E12 stuck. D13, but E12 still. D14, but E12 still. D15, but E12 still. It absolutely referenced E12 to never ever move. Now, if you think you're going to get around this and go, well, gosh, I don't know how to do that, and you're doing the project and you go, screw it, I'm just going to mess with Megan, and I'm just going to go, well, I don't want to type in a formula, or I don't know how to, I'm just going to type in 23 and 46 and 69 and 92. I'm going to use my calculator and figure out what those are. Well, here's the thing about Excel and why I'm having you email me the files. When I click here, I'm going to look up in this formula bar. And if I don't see a formula in said formula bar, you don't get credit. I need to see equals that times that. I need to see that you've absolutely referenced the E12. And then I need to not see 92 in there. I need to see that you have perfectly got that in there. So when I click on any of these cells, I look up and I see a formula got 12. A formula got 69. A formula got 92. So there has to be formulas in here. Okay? The next thing on here is how to make charts based on data tables. All right. So let's say I wanted to make some sort of table. And let's say I did 4 names. Let's go Megan, Andrea, Jim, and Sharon. I don't know. And I wanted to put in, I don't know, how many hours they spend on homework a day. 10 hours, 2 hours, 3.5 hours, 7 hours. I don't know, making up some sort of table. So you have some sort of table of data. And I want to make, let's say, a bar graph out of this. Usually what you do is you highlight what you want to make a table out of. I want to make a bar graph that's going to have the names at the bottom with their hours up top. Highlight the part that you want to make a table out of. Or chart, I should say, not a table. Highlight it. Go up to where it says chart. Boy, this is taking long. And you'll see all the different types of charts. And if I want to make a column or a bar graph, I can click on it and you'll see it gives me 50 million different options. Usually you just want a clustered column. Okay, you usually just want this first one. And there it is. It has Megan with 10 hours, Andrea with 2, and so on. And that's basically all you have to do. You could also have made this into a pie chart. You could click out of there, so you got your chart. And you also, once you have a chart, you can move it wherever you want. Okay? You can move it wherever you want. If you want to go back to the actual sheet, click out of there and you'll see that it goes back to, see how it has a dark blue around it? If you click out of it, it goes back to normal. Let's say I wanted to make a pie chart out of this for some reason. Highlight it. Maybe you go up to charts and you click pie. Basic pie. And you see a pie chart. I can move it around wherever I want. Now, you can do a lot of stuff to these. But if you want to do something to a graph, the graph has to be highlighted. Because if the graph isn't highlighted, look at charts. Nothing shows up, really. All this stuff is blacked out. But when you click on a chart, all of a sudden, all this other stuff shows up that wasn't there before. So if you go to chart layout, this is basically where you're going to want to be. Chart layout, so click on your chart, chart layout. You can add a title. Maybe you want to do a title above. Homework. Click on the chart, chart title. Maybe you want to do a chart title above here. Homework. Maybe you don't want this legend here. Okay, maybe you want it here, but maybe you don't want it here. Click on the legend, and you can either go here and put no legend. Say all of this is under chart layout once the chart is clicked. You can either do that, or you can click on the legend and just hit delete. Maybe you want to add axes. You want to add the labels here. Click on the chart and go to axis titles. Maybe you want to put a horizontal title. Title below axis. You can put the names so everyone knows that what is here is the names. And axis title vertical. Maybe you want to put hours so everyone knows it's hours compared to the people. Maybe you want to put data labels on here. Maybe you want to tell someone, hey, this is 3.5, or hey, this is 7, because it's right in between. Well, data labels. Maybe you want to put it outside there. And all those little things come up. So it's pretty simple. Get the chart made, click on the chart, hit chart layout, and all the stuff you could possibly want to add goes here. If you want to move the legend around, click on the legend, go up to legend. Maybe you want to move it to the left. Click on the chart again. Maybe you want to add data labels in there. Maybe you want to put it like outside. You can do a whole bunch of stuff. Click on the chart, click on chart layout, and go to town. Okay? But once you're done here, if you want to go back to messing with this, you have to click out of it. And the other good thing is you could change this. You could say maybe Andrea really is studying hard and she studies 24 hours in a day. Watch what happens when I hit enter. All my charts changed. All of a sudden, this is now way up here at 24. She now has a huge chunk of the pie, and everything is all altered. So that's the good news is once you make a chart, if you change your data, you don't have to redo the chart and redo the titles and all that stuff. But if you're working here and you go, wait, where did my charts go, my data labels? You have to click on the chart first to get to chart layout to do that stuff. And let's see how to alter, and I've got some extra ones here for things I might have forgotten, but I think we actually have it all. So look at that. Anything else that you might want to figure out, if there's something you're asked to do in the homework or in the projects, go to YouTube. Trust me, go to YouTube and type in how do I do whatever in Excel. And you'll have someone else yapping on their computer about how to do it. But I think this is enough to get you started. And with that, I'll sign off. It's now 9 o'clock, 9:01 as you can probably see. And it's time for me to not work anymore. All right, guys. Hope this helped. And I'll see you soon.